All right, in this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, always excited to be talking to this individual and catching him right after a victory at BTC 14 Clash, talking to Scott Hudson. How are you feeling right now, man, after that win?
Pretty good, man. A little bit sore. It's a tough fight, but feeling good. Happy I got the win.
Yeah, and obviously a rematch here. Like, were there any different components to this fight than what you saw in the last fight there? Obviously both closely contested, but any different variables at all?
Yeah, I wanted to make some adjustment to kind of hit him up the middle as he was putting pressure on me. And I think I did that pretty well. I was surprised that I wasn't able to hurt him more and finish him, but I know that there were some big shots that I landed, and I wanted to kind of work moving backwards a little bit, and I think I was successful at that, but just not enough to put him away.
Yeah, and just a relatively short notice change, to say the very least. Is there something you learned from that, just in the sense of just being adaptable and just being yeah, whatever, I'm down for whoever, a pretty dramatic opponent switch in a certain sense? Do you learn something from those experiences?
Well, Xavier and I have fought each other once. We've trained together in between the last two fights a ton. So originally, honestly, I said no originally. And then I mulled it over for, the rest of the night. And you know what I mean? Tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? So I just, I'd already been 14 months without a fight. I didn't want to, wait around any longer. And if he's willing to do it, then I'm on board, and not an ideal situation, but you got to do what you got to do. So it was good.
Well, it's interesting because we were talking and you were saying how you're not one of those guys who's averse to fighting somebody if you've sparred with them, whereas maybe some people are
we
with
did
that.
Talk about that. Yeah. We had that conversation days prior, right? It's true. I would have felt a lot better about fighting somebody else, but at the end of the day, this is business. And, I have a lot of respect for Xavier. I have the most respect for Xavier. We're friends. So, there's part of me that doesn't want to hurt him, but you've got to kind of put that out of your head.
Yeah, I imagine that's kind of hard to compartmentalize, but I think you both are professionals and operate at a very high level, so it seems like you were able to do that enough.
Yeah, I think that I would have been able to put together a cleaner performance against Joel. Stylistically, the thing about Xavier is that he's game. He's been around the block. It's a lose-lose for me because he doesn't have the best record, but I know how tough he is from fighting him twice and training with him. So it's all the risk was on me there. I had a lot to lose. You know what I mean? If I beat Xavier, I think that people expect me to beat Xavier. But if I lose to him, which is completely within the wheelhouse, it fucking derails me quite a bit, and it looks bad, right?
Yeah, so where do you see a win kind of having you at here in a certain sense? I mean, I feel like you have a fair bit of momentum there. Is there a certain idea of a next step at all beyond this, or just a matter of getting a few fights together just because some of the past ones have kind of fallen by the wayside a bit?
Yeah, well, if things are opening up now, there's going to be more opportunities for me. I want bigger fights. I want to get signed to the UFC, or I want to fight for Bellator. I've been pretty vocal about that, and since we keep me and you keep having these conversations, and I keep winning, so I don't know what else I got to do. I can only control the things I can control, so I think what's the point of me doing this anymore? I don't mean fighting, but I mean fighting not on the biggest stage. I think I've shown that that's where I should be.
Yeah, well, you have the skill level to do so for sure. But yeah, I mean, really enjoyed seeing the NWO merch out there too, that kind of theme and stuff like that. Was that fun for you to kind of see as well, that sort of look?
Yeah, I love it, man. I had a sponsor who bought space on my shirt, and I kind of regret. I had already worked all that out prior, or else I would have worn those shirts. But I was just contractually obligated to wear the other ones. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll keep that around. I love it. Yeah, pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely some good stuff. And not the first time fighting in London. It seems like you had a great time when you did it years ago and stuff like that. What's it like just performing for just this kind of crowd that has such a rich history in the Canadian MMA scene?
Well, the fans are really good. I think that there's a lot, obviously, with Adrenaline being in London. It's a big gym that produces a lot of high-level fighters, and I think that the fans here are used to seeing that. So I think that they get behind their local fighters and in turn show up really good for these events.
Yeah, for sure. It seemed like there was a real fervor too. I imagine it's cool to be competing where there's fans in attendance at an actual event again and stuff like that. You came so close with the December card, almost cruelly close in a certain sense. So it must be a relief and a cathartic thing to be able to get out there and perform and show your skills in front of a very enthusiastic crowd.
Yeah, it means everything to me. I love. I fucking live for this. It's good. I'm not entirely happy with my performance tonight, but at the end of the day, I had to shake the cobwebs off, kind of clear the table, and it's good. Like, I don't really think that there's a lot of people that know me the way that Xavier knows me that are going to give me that type of fight. And I think that, like, when I go back and watch the fight, I won't maybe be so hard on myself, but a little disappointed that I couldn't get the finish, but what are you going to do?
Was that like the main part of it? Like there wasn't a particular like part of your game that you were like wanting to shore up, but just the fact you didn't get the finish more so, or?
Well, I mean, I was doing the right things, and like from what people are telling me, it's not as bad as I think it is. But I wanted to hit him down the middle while he was trying to put pressure on me, and I think I did a pretty good job of that with straight punches and knees, and that probably kept him at bay to sort of avoid a closer fight like it was last night. I think one of the judges gave it 29-28 to him, which I fucking think that's crazy, but. When they announced that it was a majority decision, I knew for sure I had to have won, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to let you get off and enjoy the rest of your night. So to that point, is there anything you maybe want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping up, Scott?
No, I just want to thank, BTC for having me. I want to thank all the fans in London. I want to thank my sponsors and, my coaches, my team, and my wife. And, look out for me. I'll be back in a couple months.
Yeah, it was a great performance in the BTC 14 co-main event. And, always appreciate the time and insight, Scott. Thanks so much, man.
You're welcome, bro. Appreciate you.